Hello friends, welcome to my channel Suresh Coding Hub. In this series of state management, we are going to cover all the required topics which are needed to understand the state management in a React application. So we are going to do a small projects and some coding which will make you easily understand what is state management in React. So there are four ways for sharing the data, right? So let's understand first what is state management. State management is a process of storing, updating and sharing the data across the application in a React. Okay, so how many ways we are sharing the data? Okay, so there are four ways. Okay, the first way is a local state, which generally most of the people will use it, right? Even it is a small application, this is the must. So what is that local state means is you are using a use state, right? In that use state, what will happen, you can provide the initial value and you can update that values as well. So it is something like, let me go to my code, app.tsx. So we use something here like, let's say I'm creating one const count set count, and we use a use state and we are setting a value, let's say 0. Okay, let me import use state. So with this way, what you do is you are initially printing, let's say, the current value of your state. Okay, and even you can update it like on click of any button, right, or some method. You can change the value of this count by set count method and passing, let's say, something you are passing set count value to the one on click of some method, right? It will be updated. So the difference here is you can use the use state if within the same component, right? This use state will not work for any other components. Let's say we have dashboard, employee profile component, so this use state values will be only available within the same component. Okay, so this is the very first way which we will say the local state. Okay, so this is the basic, right? Everybody know already. So just we know, right, like where it suits best, right? When we use a counter, form inputs, toggle drop downs, model open close within the same component. Scope is same component, one component only. Another way is by passing the props. This is also usually we do in each application of React, even the smaller application. So passing the props means passing the data from parents to child. Okay. So this is also we know it. Let's say again we are coming back to our app.tsx file. So we have this data. Okay, this app is my parent component, and let's say we have a dashboard component which is my child component, and what I'm doing is simply we are passing the data from parent component to child component in this way, in the form of props. And in my child components we are reading this data and we will display it wherever we want, or we can use this particular passed properties from parent to child in any manipulation we need to do, or whatever the need of passing the props, we can utilize in that way with the help of props. The main important thing is, so sometimes, right, what happens is let's say we have a series of components. Okay, so the same thing here. So we have this user, and I have this dashboard component. Inside dashboard component we are having another component and another component inside employee, and everywhere you see, right, we are passing something like a user. Okay, so this users comes from my main component, which is my main parent component. So maybe there are some cases when we don't need to pass, we don't need this data in dashboard. Let's say we are not using anything here for the user, right? Same thing, even in the sidebar I am not using anything in the user. Even in employee I am not using, only in the profile I am using these props, user.name, role and company. So this is the disadvantage of this passing the props. So what happens is, in some cases where we have multiple child components, and we just need to pass data from parent to only one of the particular child component. In that case also, we are unnecessarily passing the props to other child components, right? That is not a good thing. So this particular things we used to say as a prop drilling. So when we use passing the props is when we need to communicate from parent to child. Okay, and if it is small application, very 1 or 2 page of small application, and we need to use a reusable component, so this part will be helpful. So to like passing prop drilling we have, right? If we need to get over rid of it, right? So we need to like this limitation. So React provided us as a context. Okay, what context will do is it will work as a global provider. So if this context we will be having at the top global level, we will have the properties or values which can be used by any of the needed component. So this is what the context. So there are some limitations of context also. Okay, we cannot frequently change the values. It will affect the performance, because whenever the value changes in context, all the components will be re-rendered. So to overcome these issues, we will next have the Redux. Okay, so basically we are going to cover with example everything like context API and Redux with a working project in our next videos. Just to understand this, what is state management? State management is nothing but the process of storing, updating and sharing the data across the different components in React application. And another important thing is, whenever the data or whenever the state change, UI should be synced with the latest data. Okay, so we will going to understand and discuss with a live project all the things. Okay, so few interview questions comes here. So what is state management, which we already discussed in a definition. Then how many ways we can manage the state in React? So there are 4 ways: by using the local state, which is component only, then by using the passing props from parent to childs, but it have some limitations which can be overcome using the context API. With the help of context API, we can share the data globally, but again this is having some limitations. Which kind of limitation it have is, because whenever the that values changes for the provider value, the main value, global value, then all the components will be re-rendered. Okay, and whenever the real-time updates happens very frequently, it will provide us, it will give you the performance issues. So the best way for a large enterprise applications, which most of the projects are using, is Redux. Okay, in upcoming videos I will explain you with an example what is a prop drilling and how we fix prop drilling with the help of context API. Thank you for watching the video.